Hey everybody, welcome to the Orange Road. This is Blonde Bear, and this is probably my last sneak preview of a book, and this time it's the Saurian Ancients one. Mostly because a lot of the players are waiting for it, so I thought let's give you guys a sneak preview. It's only fair that everyone has their sneak preview at the same time, so sorry this is a day late compared to some of the others, but I'm doing my best. So, a couple of things to mention before we start. One, my sneak previews are just looking at the stuff that's changed. So don't expect me to showcase everything in the book. It's not a review, it's just a look at the stuff that's changed. And just my opinions on it. Second, I do have a Saurian Ancient Army, but I haven't actually played them in the Night Age. So my knowledge of the book is quite basic. I did study them when I was in the balance board, but that's a long time ago, so I might make some mistakes. My apologies in advance. Alright, let's get started. And the first thing I see that's different is the armory. So, blowpipe changed, but that's only against large targets. That became towering presence, because, well, that's the new rule for that. Then we have the giant blowpipes, and they lost the multiple shots 2d6, and now it's just a volley gun 8. I think that's quite a nice change. I'm always a fan of having a standard number instead of rolling for it. Now you at least know how many hits you will get. Then we have the great bow. He also changed its strength value. I'm not quite sure from what, but since bolt throwers have changed completely, this is probably just making certain it fits the new rules. Then we have the Engine of the Ancients. This has become a 1-0 choice per army. Then we're going straight into the magical items. So things that changed: the Sword of the Dawn Aegis changed its point value, it's now 120. The sword bow went to a bow. The values of the strength have changed and the points have changed. Still seems like quite a nice weapon. Then we have, it's only one shot, so it's a bolt thrower. Can be nice. Then the Starfall chart, I'm guessing it went up in points if I look at it. Then we have the Egg of Quetzal, also a point change. The Jade Staff has a new bound spell, which makes sense because we have new lores. The Ancient Plague has changed. It's only once per friendly magic phase you may reroll one magic dice. And the Black Cube also had a little bit of change in the description. Let's look at the army organization. This is probably one of the most important parts. And you can only take 35% characters now. From memory, and this is a long time ago, I always took a lot of characters in my Saurian Ancient Army. So this will probably hit some of you guys. I'm not quite sure, but having a Critical Lord and a couple of guys on the big monsters will probably be very hard to pull off now. Core, only 20%, and that's a surprise to me. I've never seen the Saurian Ancients as an elite army, but hey, you only need to take 20% core now. So, Jungle Gorilla, maximum 30%. I'm gonna guess that's mostly shooting stuff. And the Gargantuans is maximum 30%. So let's go straight into characters. So the Saurian Warlords. Like all the books, they combined the hero and the lord version. I see they changed the points around a bit. I'm seeing that you can't take a raptor now if you also have heavy armor. That's probably for balance reasons. Well, just take a magical item and you're also fixed. And I see some changes in the monsters, mostly that they count towards certain categories. Then we have the big frog himself. So he's now 500 points. And he has Alchemy, Pyromancy, Divination or Evocation. And knows 4 learned spells from the Chosen Path standard. So that's quite nice. And you're still a Battle Stand Bearer as an option. You still have the Disciplines. And I'm really not focused enough or well known enough the book to really comment on this, so let's look what they changed. The Wandering Path, you now know all trade spells from Alchemy, Pyromancy, Divination, Evocation, and you choose to generate spells from more than one path. The Chosen Path and the numbers of spells from each path must be noted in the armor list. And that's pretty cool, you can build your armor list pretty much the way you want. You still have to roll for them if I get this correctly, but hey, you have a very versatile caster. You can still take Podmaster on Divination. That's quite nice, and all friendly wizards within 12-inch counters having spells for Divination for the purpose of the Conclave, which is also quite nice, to be honest. I really like that. That's a cool upgrade. Then we have some other changes on the stuff. You guys can probably say more about this when you're looking than I can. Then we have Scrutiny of the Ancients. All of the Cruttle's Lord's learned and trade spells are treated as bound spells with power level equal to X+1, where X is the corresponding spell number that appears in the path description between 0 and 6. Trade spells and all spells below X2 are treated as power level 3. So that's a really fun one. You can get a lot of spells off that you won't get your bonus, but you can cast them quite cheaply. So if you know a lot of spells, you can get some nice combos going on. So with the Ancient Knowledge, Pathmaster, and with this one, you're looking at a lot of spells to cast each turn. And yes, the ones you'll probably want to get through will be dispelled, but you will get a lot of spells through. I like the combination. Let me check if this combination is possible. Yeah, it's possible as far as I can see. Oh, no, it's not, because you can only spend 100 points on disciplines. Right. That's too bad, so there goes my brilliant idea. Guys, as you can tell, I am not an active Saurian player. So, we get to this King Captain. No real changes, except everything counts to the Jungle Gorilla category or other stuff. Some changes on the monsters. Nothing really spectacular. Only one pterosaur choice per army as a mount. That will probably impact your building a bit, I think. Then we get to the Skink Priest. So he's one of the few casters who still has only 2 wounds. But he's quite cheap. He can take a Skink Pelican, 50 points now, and the pterosaur. He can only maximum have 3 spells, by the way. So he's a cheap but crappy caster. And his leadership went down. That might be a problem with some of the bunkers people have been using. Let's see, it's pretty much the same. I like the Plague of the Snake God stuff, but I think that's always been in the book. Then we get to the Cayman Ancient, and his leadership has changed, and his points has changed. I've never been a fan of the Cayman Ancient, and so I've never really studied him, so I don't know how much it has changed here. I'm betting his leadership went down, but I'm not quite certain. Then we are looking at core, and we have the Saurian Warriors. One change, I see it if you take a totem animal upgrade, all the Saurian Warriors in the army must be upgraded with the same totem. Seems fluffy, I think. Then we get to the Skink Braves. So a lot of changes here on the point values. They also lost the ability to replace the javelins for poison javelins. They lost the option to skirmish. They lost the option for poisoned attacks. They do get bows now. That's a lot of things that changed. People are really gonna miss those poison javelins, I think. But with the lower core percentage, I'm going to guess those units, those poisoned blowpipe javelin shooting will probably be in special or in the other category. Still have the option for Caymans. By the way, this unit is scoring, so having a very cheap unit can be quite nice. 90 points for scoring unit with 15 wounds, not too bad. And that's all the core selection. That's not a lot, guys, that's only 2 units, wow. Then we get to special, no limit. So we have the Temple Guard, they seem to have changed in their points again. And we get to Raptor Riders. Those are now 64 points a model, still pretty much the same. Caymans have lost light armor, but I don't see of other changes, so this looks like a stealth nerf. You do now have scoring for free, so you don't need to take standard bearers, so small units could be nice. You can take 5 units of them in the army. That might be even enough to get me to play the Saurian Ancients again. I love caimans, and having 5 units of them, 5 small units in the army without any other restrictions would be quite nice. Then we get to the Jungle Gorilla, so it's 30%. And yeah, here we have the Poisoned Javelin. But you can only take 2 units of this per army. And it's also in the Jungle Gorilla, so you have access to them, but you won't have a lot of this stuff. But I see that they made the chameleon skins separate against skin hunters, so you can take 2 of those as well. So you will have some more mobile shooting. I'm gonna guess, by the way, that they haven't upgraded the points here with the skin hunters. That's a problem. I'm working with a PDF that's still being worked on, so there are a couple errors in here. And well, skin chameleons are 20 points per model now. Then we get weapon beast, 3 units per army, and they lost skirmisher. That will be something people will not really like. They still have light troops now, so they're still mobile, but skirmish is quite fun. Spearback are 2 choices per army, and salamander are 2 units, 2 choices per army. Alright, no changes in the rules themselves. Same goes for snake swarms, no changes. Then we get to the skink Petadoran riders, so they changed the points. Fine by me. And the skink Rampedon riders, so I think both of these units used to be 1, so they're separate again now. You can have units of each, which is quite nice. Gives you a little bit more option. Then we get the Gargantuans. 30%. So the Pterosaur is 470. You can take 3 of them in the army. The Sharp Horns upgrades is now standard. Seems logical. I would not know why you would not take it, to be honest. They lost the Ancient Pterosaur upgrade, and they've got a great bow now, and they can take the Ancient. Right. Seems all fine with me. Then we get the Stickyus, also 3 units per army. He got the Predatory War standard, he got the Bread Weapon standard, and he can still become a Wizard Conclave. Now he has Swarm of Insects and Awaken the Beast from Shamanism. Not the worst spells, so quite nice. Then we have the, oh, I hate saying these names, the Tiro Scutus, something like that. It's changed in points as well, 3 units per army. So I do like you can take a lot of monsters from each choice, even though you're only having 30% of your list, but still that's more than 1,000 points. That's from memory something like 1100, 1200. So yeah, you can take a couple of monsters with you. This thing seems pretty much the same, only they changed the spells because, well, the lore's changed. So, and that's everything. So sorry for this very quick review. I wasn't planning to do this review, but you guys were really asking for it, so here it is. I can't really comment on this book like I did with the other books, just because I'm really not up to date with the Saurian Ancients. I'm sure you guys will have a ton of stuff to discuss here. That's everything for this show, guys. Right, thanks for listening, and I'll see you all on the next show. If you like my channel, like and subscribe.